I keep studying and studying and studying. I'm an eternal student.
Where are you studying?
Where?
Like when you say I keep studying, where?
I keep studying with Deepak Chopra.
Right.
I took the whole world with
external
him.
resources.
External, with Anthony Robbins, with Danny Johnson,
Deepak Chopra,
which is
yes, very
Christian,
good.
and I'm Christian. I love Jesus. I think God is the number
He's
one.
great.
But no, he's great.
Yeah.
That's true. But I know a very religious person, but I love to put God first. And
Well, let's talk about this. Why don't you come up here? Would you come up here? Give her a round of applause. She can come up on stage.
I need to grab you because I don't want to fail.
Okay. What you said was fascinating to me, and this is something that we all do. But she said, I'm trying to figure out what I want with my life, and I'm researching like crazy. And I'm researching outside of me like crazy. I'm here because I want you to understand that there's an internal research you can do that is so much bigger, because all this event, everything I've done in my life, all the amazing things happen from researching in here. External just kind of is like the pole and pole vaulting. You need it to get up into the air, and then eventually you have to let go of it. Because I know a lot of people who go to seminars and hear how great life can be, and they use that as just enough to not really access the thing that they actually are. So this event's going to be different because you're going to actually access you, and it's going to be scary for about 12 seconds, and then you're going to feel a freedom that's so much bigger. But everyone's just scared to feel into that thing for just a few seconds, right? So what if we did a different thing this time? What if we researched in you what you want?
Sounds good to me.
Does that sound exciting?
Yes, that was my intention, because I really have taken so many courses, and I say, I want a real transformation.
Yeah.
Because when I found you by Facebook, I guess, I
think Facebook's wonderful.
I bought the tickets right away. I said, I just want to go and be there because I want to experience immediate transformation.
Yeah. And I have been through, see, the comic in me spots the BS and everything. So I still love to call BS on stuff, even in the transformational field, right? Because what I've discovered is in the comedy world, often there's a calling out the BS on everything, and we often forget to call out BS on our own doubts, right? So there's a lot of cynicism that I came from, but at one point I realized, whoa, we're really infinite. But then I went to the transformational world, and everyone stopped shaving their armpits. And they give you the long stare. Like, I love everybody, and it's really great, but you know the long stare? When you talk to someone and you say anything, you're like, yeah, I gotta pee, and they're like, Thank you. And you realize they didn't hear a word you're saying, they just want you to see how good they are at staring. That's what that is. Thank you. This crystal. Okay, so like, and that's great. That's really great, but it blows my mind how much power we give to everything but ourselves. We give power to the crystal, or the moon sign, or Mercury retrograde, or the sign that's outside of you, or your fear. Your fear, do you know what your fear is? Your fear is when you think something, you create your own thought. That's what fear is, and then you totally forget you created it, and it freaks you out. So you create out of your creation, what if they don't like me? Then you freak out. That's like drawing a picture of a monster and putting it on your wall and freaking out every night before you go to bed. You created those thoughts, right? So we love to give power to everyone outside of us, and she's under the illusion that the information that can come out of those other speakers, including me, is bigger than what she can do. And that's the illusion, right? That other speakers and other people are in a higher place and can tell me better what I can do. And what always drives me nuts is sometimes I'll do my events, and I love it when I meet people after the event, but very often they didn't get it, and they'll come up to me and they'll go, I loved what you said, I totally get that I have all this power. I have a question, I have a roommate that's driving me nuts. Should I move out? And I'll think to myself this, I'll think, what do you hope I say? And they go, I hope you say yes. Then no, of course. Your intuition has created this belief that there needs to be an unnecessary middleman that you check in with to confirm the feeling that you already feel, right? So, for instance, if you've ever had plans with someone and then you hope that they cancel. Have you ever done that?
Yeah.
Because you want to cancel, but for some reason, and by the way, they're thinking the same thing. And then both of you go to dinner just hating each other and wishing you were home watching Grey's Anatomy or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like So your intuition already knows. So when you go and listen to Deepak Chopra, he's just telling you what your intuition already knows is right. And maybe he's not even. Maybe he's like, if you listen to this chakra, you will love the, right? I don't know.
No, I was in Deepak Chopra because I have studied nutrition before, and I knew they are making mistakes there, and people don't know.
Right.
So I went to talk with the manager, and I told them, why are you telling people this and that that is not true? And they say, okay, it's a long history. To make it shorter, they make big mistakes.
By the way, when they said things that aren't true, what'd you feel?
I feel I'm glad I know more than that. I don't know why people manipulate. They manipulate people.
So when those people manipulated, you were in resistance to that.
Yes, I resist, and I say, if you don't say, I'm going to tell people, because we are paying here to learn, and this is wrong.
So you were mad.
Yes, and I told
them. So you were in fight or flight.
Fight or flight.
Because when you get mad, your mind goes into a place of fight or flight.
Yeah.
Right? So you can't access your infinite ideas because you're in war with what is. That person was supposed to manipulate. You know how I know? Because they did.
They manipulate unbelievable, vulnerable people who are very vulnerable. That's true.
Everyone's seeing what's going on, right? When you think about them manipulating, you re-feel mad, right? You're mad here.
No.
No, but you were, right? You were just like, yeah, they manipulate, right? Just a second ago?
A second ago, I say yes.
Yeah. I didn't mean this, I just mean here. Yeah, no, we're killing it. This is amazing. This is really good. So immediately, how could she create at her greatest if she's in resistance to what someone else is doing? There's no way she can tap into her greatness because first she's already at war inside of herself with what someone else is doing. Now as the comic in me that calls out BS, there's many people in this new field of transformation that I see that are totally doing whatever they're doing, and a lot of it doesn't align with what I want to do. Which is great, it just gives me clarity on what I want. But if I'm just sitting here mad about that, I stay there with them. And I don't access my apple tree. Could you imagine an apple tree going, that tree's making pears? And pears taste like shit, and I just am gonna sit here and access my apple tree, but I would love to, but first, no more pears. It's not fair that they're making pears. Now, I'm not saying, people think when I say accept it, that I'm saying let's keep encouraging people to be manipulative, or accept that you were, being yelled at by that person. That doesn't mean accept it and keep being with it. That doesn't mean accept it and live with it. That doesn't mean accept it and let it keep happening to you. But if you, first of all, take that these people were manipulating, and you go, and I love that. It doesn't mean you love it because you want them to keep doing it. It means you love it because you're going to clear yourself inside your own head of what is happening, because the first thing we have to do is get you out of the argument with what is. Does that make sense?
It has sense.
Yeah. So you don't like that, do you?
No, it has sense.
Didn't it kind of look like, yeah, it makes sense. Like, that's what I was getting. Like, yeah, but he's a jerk. This is awesome. So you want to, so what do you think about that person that was manipulating?
I was thinking the people very vulnerable, they are very vulnerable, and they...
The people are vulnerable? Yeah.
And they get the people who has names because they wrote a book or whatever, they believe, even if it's true or not, but they believe.
Right. So first of all, what a gift you would be for the world, because you have this gift in you that wants to be authentic for the world. You have the clarity that you want to be authentic based on seeing that other thing that's happening and saying, I don't want that. But the more you're in resistance to it, the more you're going to start being it. Believe it or not. Because we only actually get mad about things that are what we do. If I said to you, you're a 70-year-old man, wouldn't it be weird if she's like, actually I am? Like, that'd be weird. But if I
accept.
If I said that about you, would you get in resistance and go, no, I'm not? Or would you just think I'm crazy?
You're crazy.
Right. It doesn't trigger you, because you're only triggered by the parts of you that you don't like, right? You only care about things that actually affect you and that are more like you. So there's a part of you in the past that maybe told a little white lie or did something that you didn't like that was, you felt manipulative, whether not even for money, but just to a person or something. And there's a part of you that had that feeling. Is there anything true about that? In the past, have you ever a little bit manipulated or lied? I mean, I have. Like, we all have, right? Have you ever done that?
Manipulated or lie about...
Anything.
Probably. I don't remember right now, but
Right.
it's a possibility.
You don't even have to, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but there's a reason why that matters to you so much, right? And there's something in her that she has this opportunity to clear out by just loving it, by loving that part of her. Because you're deciding that someone else in this field shouldn't be doing that. Now, if we could get to a place where you loved that they're doing it, doesn't mean you're going to work with them. There's a difference, right? I'm not saying, really get that in that I'm not saying accept them so that you can keep having it. But notice how many things that are happening in the world that you're at war with. And if you're at war with it, you can't access your heart because your mind has to fight or flight, take care of this thing that it perceives to be as the emergency in your life. That's why it's in fight or flight. It's saying, I'm in resistance to this. Fight or flight was designed, if a tiger was to jump out, your body gets sweaty as a defense mechanism, makes it slippery, and your blood gets thicker so that if it cuts you open, it doesn't come out all over the place. This is what I actually read somewhere back when I did research externally. But these things, so if you're thinking about something you don't like, your mind is giving your body small doses of fight or flight. That's what stress is. It's thinking a little bit, and it's in a little bit of an emergency. So it's thinking that one person said that about me, and it's thinking about it, and it's in resistance to itself. And it can't access your infinite creativity because first you're at war with what is. But if we could get you to fall in love with everything that is, there is a gift that's under that, and you wouldn't have to research externally anymore. By the way, the money that you'll make, you'll save right off the bat by not going to all the give me all the answer events, because that can be an addiction, right? It can be totally an addiction to stop ourselves from doing it. You know, we as a society have made it obvious that drugs and alcohol are an addiction, but so is everything else that isn't your infinite creativity. You giving your gift, if you're not, it's because you're in an addiction. I promise up until this year, I was in a very clear addiction of just what people think of me. I did the August event thinking of all the approval that I would get and all of the different, love that I would get and all the different people that would tell me good job. And I'd be this little boy stuck in an addiction and not tap into something that's even greater right now because I feel better because I'm accessing my heart even more, right? So we're in different addictions all the time. The addiction to approval, the addiction to TV, the addiction to, external love, a couple that you think this person completes me. Don't leave me, your job. There's different addictions that we have all the time, right? So if you're in an addiction, your mind is often in a fight or flight if it's in resistance to what is.
Yeah, just looking for the truth.
Yeah. So could we get you to a place where we talk about these people that manipulated and I'm curious what would happen if you just loved that they did. Because that's their process. By the way, the people that went to that event, they need to be manipulated so that they learn something.
Probably.
Right? So why are you going to stop them from their low?
No. Okay.
One of the biggest things we do is we love to stop people from hitting their own low when meanwhile almost every one of us knows our low was the biggest thing that happened to us to get us to come here. Right? Am I right on that for some of you? My lows, I had 2 huge lows in my life. One time I was suicidal, anxiety-ridden as a comic, and I created stage fright, and I thought who I was a comedian, and I had to do all this change, and I wouldn't have gone to an event. I went to a Tony Robbins event because I thought who I was a comic, and I was suicidal. Then I hit another low where all the comics were attacking me, and I couldn't control it. But if I hadn't had that, I'd still be doing comedy only and not this. But those lows had to happen. So the dude that's manipulating and the people that are going to it have to go through those lows. Right? Maybe?
Maybe.
So what were you going to say? Sorry, I go off a lot.
No, I'm just here open to figure out what is my gift.
Let's change figure out.
Okay.
Because what part of your body figures out? Right? So let's instead, that was cool. You were also... I want footage, if we have just a shot of just you all going, brain, I want to show that for the next event, because it was really, really cult looking. Brain, like, and we should have after shots of me being like, that's right, the brain. Everyone, you'll have a glass of Kool-Aid under your chair. Like, I want to create a video that scares all the doubters. So when you want to figure out, because your heart never figures out, it knows. Do you think a tree's figuring out how to grow? Right? You don't figure out, right? So let's end the idea of figuring out.
Okay, I want to be crystal clear what I really want.
Okay. Now, I have a question. What if you weren't clear? What if you just
That's
lived
who
the
I
rest of your life?
I'm not clear. I
Yeah.
like so many things.
What if you loved that you weren't clear?
Okay, that sounds good.
How's that feel?
Feel good.
Right? Because think of the perfectionism in, I want to be crystal clear. How much worse would this event be? I said it like it's already bad, but like how bad would this event be? Imagine this even worse than before? Wanting to be clear is a perfectionism mind thing. That's a mind thing, wants to be clear, right? What is that clear? What would that clarity even look like? When would you decide you're crystal clear? What would that
When
look
I
like?
decide it's crystal clear, I can get my new business again because I'm not multitask like I used to be.
Right.
I used to have many business at the same time, very multitask. Right now, I have to focus in one thing. So as a dream builder coach, as a nutritionist, as a businesswoman in real estate, and many, many things, just focusing on one thing.
Right.
How can I add value to people?
How can I add
from my
value to
art,
people? So,
not from my ego.
right, okay. What if being crystal clear is your ego? And what if saying, when I'm crystal clear, I'll start my company is backwards? Right? When are you crystal clear? When have you decided you're clear? When are you clear? When are you there? What is there? What does that even look like? That thing that you get everything perfect? Did you notice it never ever is perfect? It never gets there? And you can keep waiting to be clear and perfect until finally you're dead. Right?
But Alan, it's because if I want to go to vacation one day, where I'm going, I don't know because I want one vacation one day. But I want to be,
What?
if I say, I want to be in Paris in December,
Okay, so you want to be
it's
in...
more clear.
Right?
Then I know what steps to take
I
to
wanna
arrive
be-
to Paris.
I get what you're saying. So do you know when you need to go to the bathroom on Friday?
No,
Right, your body just tells you when it's time, right?
that's true.
So planning a trip to Paris in December,
Yes.
what if you find out in November you hate Paris?
In November, at least I have already all the savings on all the ideas
Right.
what it costs to be in
So-
Paris. So I have recruited all the information.
So I have can I go a little longer? I have a time's up. I don't even know, I don't know what you mean. Like I have a clock here and it just counts down. It says time's up. I'm like, for what? This goes till 7. No, we will take a break in a second, but I do want to work on this for a minute. So, check this out. So you want to be crystal clear, and what that means is you're not crystal clear right now, right?
No, exactly.
Now, my question to you is, can you love that? Can you love that you're not crystal clear?
Yes, because be happy is free.
I love that my body's coughing like it's like, no, we do need a break right now. What'd you say?
Be happy is free. So, yes, I can accept that. Because be happy is free.
So what if you fell in love with totally not knowing?
I love that.
Doesn't it sound cool?
Sounds good.
Right? Now,
Yeah,
when you said that, what did you feel in your body?
I love
Excuse me.
that.
Look at, do you feel a difference in your body and your presence? Yes, that means yes. I feel like we're falling in love. Are we falling in love? It's weird to say, but it was really sexy all of a sudden.
It's funny. You're funny. I tried to put my chair up to look
What?
at you over there, and you go back.
Oh, you
and
pulled
I
your-
tried to put my chair back. To
Right,
look
I know,
at
it
you,
sucks.
And you go back.
Right.
Because I have that light in front of me.
It's my way of inching us behind the curtain. So it'll be fun. So So you're really fun, by the way.
You too.
So this is a new idea, isn't it? Falling in love with not knowing.
Yes, it is.
And what
Yes.
has anything shown up? Because all of a sudden your presence changed. It did. I felt a difference in her stance and her being. Did you notice her mind wasn't like possessing her as much? Do you guys know what I mean by that? Give a round of applause just for that. So when we get obsessed with researching externally, our mind starts training itself that external knows, and our mind is the only thing that's tied to externally, right? But if you can understand, I don't know and I love that. That's one of the biggest things I would love for you guys to take away from this event. I don't know and I love that I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to say this weekend, and if I did, I would have been a control freak and said, no, how it works is this person talks at this time, this person talks at this time. In fact, if I had known and been crystal clear before the event, I wouldn't have even known that anyone in this audience like you was a factor when I scheduled how this event was going to go. Does that make sense? So had I scheduled the event, I would have only done it from my limited perspective of what I know so far before I walked out here. And I wouldn't have known that you were even in the audience and that you have this backstory and who you are and what you want to figure out. So had I been crystal clear on this event, I would have actually cut off all of the opportunities that show up in the moment the entire time, right? So being crystal clear implies your ego knows how it's going to go without bringing in all of the new external information. If you're going to speak tomorrow night, and you're going, I got to come up with the right thing to say. You're going to write this stuff down. You're going to be in your head, and you're going to not notice all the people around you. At every coffee shop, at every restaurant, everyone sitting next to you. Every person in this room is an asset. Do you understand that? That could help you take your business higher. You could fall in love with. Like there's so many different things, right? But if I needed to know how it was going to go before, I'm first of all not trusting any of my own guidance. I'm saying, don't help me, universe, even though I say universe all the time, right? Do you say the universe is going to take care of me a lot? Do you say
That's
things?
why you asked me if I love my boyfriend?
Am I dreaming? No. Yeah, actually, yeah, while that's coming up, do you?
Of course I do.
Oh, great. Is he here?
No.
Oh, right. Okay. No. But it's funny how much we want to be crystal clear and we claim that we believe the universe has us, when really we cut it off by trying to be so crystal clear. We totally cut off any, and what we really say by our actions, not our words, is that I don't believe that I'm going to be taken care of. I don't believe that I'm covered. I don't believe that I'm safe. So your job for the rest of this event, and hopefully life, is to start the process of falling in love with not knowing. Because that actually invites whatever the invisible force is, the universe, whatever you want to call it. And you can hear this and be atheist, by the way. It doesn't matter. In God, universe, whatever you want to call it, what I'm talking about is that there's a story of you that thinks that you know how everything's going to go, and her crystal clarity would only come from the past story of her. The story of her in her childhood, right? The story of her from her past. That's the only thing that can define what clear even means. Right? Because to us, what's clear for her wouldn't be clear for us. So it's her story, the limited surviving self, that wants to be clear, right? I swear to God, you look 20 years younger. You do. You're sitting different. Doesn't she have a beautiful essence to her? For real. You do.
I hope it's true.
So what we're doing is we're really saying to the universe, everyone who says universe, and then they say stuff like, I got to get it perfect, you're actually saying, I got this, universe, don't help me. And the universe goes, you got it? Okay, cool. And then we start asking questions like, how do I do this? How do I take care of this or whatever? That would be like getting a Best Buy salesman to come to your house to fix your computer. And while he's trying to fix it, you're sitting in between him and the computer going, I don't know what to do. And he's like, just sit over there. I got it. I'm going to take care of you. Just sit there. You're like staying awake through open heart surgery. Like, I don't know what you should pull out. Like, I don't know, you could do this? If you meditate, it's like the universe is like this open heart surgeon going in and taking out the old stories of you. All you have to do is sit and wait. That's all you have to do. Just allow yourself to wait and rest. We're so scared of ourselves that we have to watch movies and all these things that are sabotaging ourselves because you're always going up no matter what. You're always rising, you're always evolving. But what is a movie? A lot of times, but a story of a person that starts out normal, everything goes to crap, and then it comes back up to normal again. Right? Like Taken is a movie where he's normal, his daughter gets kidnapped, he gets her back, both the beginning and the end are the same, you wasted 2 hours. He didn't evolve beyond himself in the movie. So we learn life is you sabotage stuff. You find the friends that are going to talk crap about you, and you go after them more than the people who are a space for you. The people who just love you, we often avoid them because we go, who is the most, one I'm scared of the most? I got to fix that problem. And we keep lowering ourselves down to the level of that problem versus noticing that there's friends and amazing people all over surrounding you that are a loving space, but we avoid that because they're going to be fine. So we go to where the problem is and we keep sabotaging ourselves by going on Facebook, finding a problem, finding our problems in our life, complaining all day, saying what's wrong earlier, right? So your figuring out was you trying to put yourself in a place of lack, because figuring out implies there's something wrong, right? And we know that's not true. I can feel a total difference in you. So what's your company again?
My company?
Yeah.
I'm just a dream builder and
Just a dream builder.
But that's why I have to
I've never heard that pitched that way.
dream builder.
I help people make millions and have the greatest life ever.
Yes, because it's a system that it works,
Mm-hmm.
but it's created by somebody very wise, like Mary Morrison, and I learn a lot from them. However, I want to create something in my own,
Right.
but from
Yes.
like authentic.
Yes.
Authentic, that's what I mean.
I want to just tell you, for the part of you that still needs a little permission outside of you, yes.
My
Do
own
that.
Stuff. Take a little bit of everybody
Because
that I admire.
she doesn't need me to give that permission, but sometimes it's nice to hear one person go, please do that. Don't do things the way other people told you to do it.
Yeah.
If I had, I wouldn't be doing this, because at first everyone thought I was crazy and no one knew what I was talking about. But you have a vision showing up in your body that no one else can see. So of course they're naturally going to not support it because they don't feel what you're feeling, right? So I can tell you from my listening to my heart that it's actually completely never been wrong. And if there's something that you feel you want to create, you're going to let go of the how, because the how is you in this limited space trying to create the entire vision. And if you knew how your thing was going to go, and then it happened, it wouldn't be very exciting, wouldn't it? Because you already saw from the beginning it was going to happen. But life is actually way more fun than that. The greatest thing that I could think of that could happen this weekend is nothing compared to what could happen if I don't try to create the vision of what's going to happen and be a control freak and say it has to go that way. Instead, I just show up and I play. I didn't know you were going to be here. And you're such a gift for the audience and for me and for you. Right? Yeah, give her a round of applause.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, to follow the heart, to listen to the heart, it'll just tell you the next step, not the whole thing. Have you ever gone on a road trip with someone who wants to know every direction first? It's really annoying, isn't it? Well, that's what the universe feels when we do that. It's like, can we just have fun on the road? I'll tell you the next direction. A GPS just tells you the next turn. And it doesn't tell you the turn after that until you do the next turn. So there's a thing that you just need to do next, whether it's let go of something, whether it's make that one commitment, whether it's rent the cabin to write the book, whether it's to meditate, whether it's to fire someone, whether it's to dump him. There's decisions that in your life you want to let go of, and here's how you know what it is. Does it feel heavy or does it feel light? Do I expand or do I feel contracted? Because when you do something that feels contracted, you're saying you don't trust that you're taken care of, and you stay in this place where you're putting too much effort in. You know, when I quit auditioning for TV shows and movies, I started booking TV shows and movies. There were suddenly producers and audiences because as I listened to what I wanted to do, people were like, oh, we just love to have you, and you can have the part. So I just started getting offers for things because I wasn't trying to show up as cattle and try and do all this stuff that took too much effort. I believe if it takes a ton of effort, you're not supposed to do it. Life's supposed to be effortless and fun. Yes, there's going to be things that if you want something, you still got to go to the gym. But what people do is they think, well, I got to push resistance to get there. And that'd be like thinking, I want to get fit, so I'm going to eat a bunch of candy so I can overcome it. Instead, we just go move towards the feeling and let it unfold what magic it has for you versus you knowing what it is now, right? So let me ask you a question. What is something in your life that scares you but you know you need to do?
I'm very scared of public speaking.
I'm scared of public speaking?
Yeah.
Yeah. So And let me ask you something. What is the kind of stuff you talk about when you're in a one-on-one with someone?
It's easier.
It's easier.
Yeah.
Right, because your mind creates a story that what one person thinks about you isn't as important as what 1,400 people think about you. Right? So that one person isn't as great. What if the one person was Oprah?
Awesome.
Awesome?
Yeah.
Isn't that funny how all of our mind is wired differently? Does anyone here that would be more scared to speak in front of Oprah alone than in front of this whole audience? Raise your hand. So do you see how it's a belief? Because some people, how about the opposite? Raise your hand if it's the opposite. You'd be more scared to speak in front of the audience. Isn't that fascinating? So these are all beliefs. In other words, what I'm pointing out here is it's not a universal truth what you believe. So you can take in that that's just your one belief based on how you've wired yourself in your entire life. So you're scared of public speaking. And if you were talking to one person, because you realize this is just one person 1,400 times, right? People think a crowd is a crowd of people. And they go on stage and they go, "Hi, today I'm going to talk." No, you're one person. I know that I'm talking to one person. There's several one person, but you're one person. And that's why I'm talking like we're just talking at a restaurant, right? And by the way, at a restaurant, you have 2 hours of content because you're not trying. You have a conversation, right? So you're scared of public speaking because you believe that there's a job to be had, that you have to do it the right way, because you have to get something. And you only want to get something because you can manipulate. Right?
It's a possibility.
Yeah. You want to get something from the audience, which is a manipulation.
Yeah.
Which is why you hate that that other guy manipulated so obviously. You would rather him have manipulated in more of a subtle, sly way like you have. Right? So if you're nervous, that means you want to get something from the audience. That's why she's scared of public speaking. There's a big opportunity here for money, for sales, for new clients. So I better do it the right way so I can get something, which is manipulation. So now what if we end the manipulation by loving that that part of you existed and instead going to a why you need to tell people about what your gift is and what you have to share, and just give it totally without expecting one thing in return?
That is how I like to be.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me about what you do real quick and why it's so important. In fact, would you tell, I'm going to sit where you were sitting.
Okay.
Okay, and feel free to stand up too if you want, but tell us about... I have your, by the way, just so you know, I have your journal here. I want to snuggle with him. That's so cool.
This is my private life.
So we're just going to do just like a minute, but I'd love for you to just tell the audience about why what you have for them is so important versus thinking how. If you think how, your mind's going to go, how do I get? But if you think, why do I want them to know this?
I want people to know that health is the first than wealth. Because if you are healthy, you can be wealthy. If you have a lot of money but you are not healthy, it doesn't matter how much money you have. So we have the air for free right now. The water before was for free. Right now we have to buy water, and we don't know. That's why people have to be aware about water. So our body is 70% water, and we don't realize how important it is to know the quality of water that we put in our body. This is one of the most important things in my part of my life, is be aware about what?
Oh, sorry. We were whispering at how good you are. Sorry, it's coming right out of the speaker at you.
So we are, how important is to be aware about what you put in your body, especially water. But who uses water? Everybody uses water. It's no healthy people or wealthy people or poor people. Everybody needs water. And the fact that in North America we are buying a lot of bottles of water that is unnecessary, and we are ruining the planet. So you have to change your water to change the planet. So get any filter,
yes,
but be aware of that.
Give her a round of applause.
shaking now.
Yeah, but you were amazing. You were amazing.
I'm shaking now.
How beautiful was that? So, did you notice when she went to a giving, because you were in a giving, right? You were in a giving.
Yeah.
When you're in this space, you work for the universe. You work for the planet. You're not saying why your thing is the most important product that everyone needs to buy. You're in service, and you open up to giving this infinite gift that you're in service to the world, right? So that's available for you, and realize the only reason you get nervous is because you're not playing big enough. The only reason you're nervous is you're in the you as an individual, how can I get? That's the only reason. And you're being called to move to total universal service and move to a place that helps people free themselves, helps people get healthy, helps people love themselves. Because Michael Beckwith said, he's my favorite, and he's spoken at past events, but Michael Beckwith said, when you work for the universe, you're never unemployed. And if you did just work for the universe, and how, by the way, do you still have a fear of public speaking?
Yeah, I'm checking.
Yeah. But what do you think about it now?
It's easier. It's just go and start it.
Right.
After it's going to be
and
easier.
By the way, she spoke about this long, right? What would have happened had she kept going? You're not going to. But what would have happened if she got to an hour and a half or 2 hours or 3 hours, she wouldn't even remembered she's on the stage. It would have just been like being with a one-on-one client, right? So what I'd love to do is, would you say your website again, by the way, for the rooms? If you guys want to meet her or talk to her, what was your website again?
mywatermission.com.
mywatermission.com.
Yeah.
Give her a round of applause. So thank you for doing that. Yeah. So, yeah, give her a round of, oh, here, let me help you.
Yeah.
You got it, my friend?
I'm
Thank
still
you so
limping
much.
a little bit.
She's
but
just
I'm
taking the
walking.
mic. Do you want the piano too? So what we're going to do right now is...